The Houston City Council voted to allow ride-sharing services Uber and Lyft to operate in Houston. Uber and Lyft are ride-sharing apps which allow regular people and town car drivers to turn their vehicles essentially into taxis. With more details on the development and what it means for, taxi drivers in the political landscape is political consultant Dallas Jones. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
And I have to say, I haven't tried one of these services myself, but there are a lot of people that do support them. But still, on the other side, a lot of resistance to this. Why was this such a political hot potato?
Well, essentially what you see going on around the country are these battles around what's being called alternative transportation. What that means for the industry is that regular people can drive regular vehicles in order to transport people for hire. And so that's different from what we've traditionally known here in Houston and other cities around our country. We've relied on a standard model of a taxi medallion and painted taxi vehicles, and so it's very different. It's very revolutionary for the industry.
So this went through on the City Council, a 10-5 vote. Is there any chance that this can be reversed or that people are going to continue to fight this?
I think not. I think these services are here to stay, not only in Houston, but around the country. What you've found is that the reason they're successful, these are fairly large companies with fairly large valuations, is because it's what people want. And we realize that times are changing, and having this conversation, I mentioned to someone, you think about maybe, what was it, 60, 70 years ago, we didn't have commercial flight. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, it's the most heavily regulated and used way to travel, right? And so times change, and I think this is part of that change.
And more competition can be a good thing, right?
Well, absolutely. I think it forces everyone to kind of step up to the plate and improve the way that they provide services to Houstonians. I think the other piece about this that's beneficial to people of our city is that you have a lot of people that need ways to provide for themselves, or extra ways to provide for themselves. Now anyone can sign up on these platforms and become a driver, assuming they meet all the qualifications, and be on the road transporting neighbors where they need to go.
You mentioned transporting neighbors. There are some places where you're not really getting the traditional services. Maybe it runs through your neighborhood, but not directly in front of your house.
Right.
Presumably like somebody who was coming in that you're using through this app would do.
Absolutely, and that's the concept, right? The larger these services can grow, the more they can spread across all parts of the city. Because again, your neighbor could be a driver for Lyft or Uber and be working in that respective area. And so we have real transportation issues here in Houston, and the reality of it is that people that are in the outskirts of our city and the suburban areas are the ones that are in most need of options, and these services can be an answer to that.
Dallas Jones, thank you so much for coming in on this Sunday morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right.